Hi there, I'm Vicki McCarthy from Aussie Stampers. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today I have a special project called the Best Ever Box for Your Cards. Now the box I'm going to be showing you today is a C6 box, which will fit the C6 or the large size envelopes that Stampin' Up! Sell. And the reason that I'm calling it the Best Ever Box for Your Cards is because it has a unique system for closing the box on itself and gives it really super sturdy corners. Now this is what the box looks like. I've made one already and I've made it using crumb cake cardstock with a belly band, and it slides off, and I've put inside a whole packet of the C6 envelopes, so you could probably fit about 20 single layer cards and envelopes and 12 cards and envelopes if they had lots of layers. So it makes a great all occasions card box. And this belly band just slips on the top. And this is how we're going to put it together. Before I show you how to do that, the sizes that you can make with this box that I'm going to be giving you over the next few videos will be for the large, medium, note card and 3x3 size cards and envelopes. So I'm going to give you 4 sizes for this box. So look out for those videos that are coming up next. You're going to need the envelope punch board and a metal ruler if possible. And I'm going to use a piece 10.5 inches square of crumb cake for the base of my box. I'm going to line it up, punch and score at 5 inches. Then you're going to slide it across beyond the punch board. So this is where you need to use your ruler. You want to measure to the 6 3/4 inch mark, then punch and score. And I find if you line this up on your grid paper, it actually helps you find where that line is going to be. So you can line it up with your grid paper, punch down and score at the 6 3/4 inch mark. Now you're going to rotate 90 degrees. And you can line up with the score lines and punch and score those lines down as well. So punch and score, line it up, punch and score down as well. Now rotate again the 90 degrees, line it up at the 5 inch mark, punch and score down. And you'll see that this already lines up with the lines that we've made. Then line it up at the 6 3/4 inch marks. You can line it up again on the score lines, punch and score down. So you're just going to punch and score each time. Now you're going to rotate 90 degrees again. Line up on the score lines and punch and score. Line up on the score lines, punch and score down. Now you can't see the scoring there because I edited the video, but I did score down those lines. Now join up any missing lines. You'll see that some of the lines are a little bit too long that go off the edge of the envelope punch board. You just need to line those up and score them with the little tool to score to the edges of the lines. Take the rounded edge of the scoring tool and burnish on all those score lines. And this is going to create the base for your box, and it's going to be like a matchbox type box that folds in on itself. Now the secret to this and why this is the best ever box is that normally you would cut tags at this time or flaps, but you're just going to pinch in the corners with your fingers and crease them with your thumb, and this is what makes the box so sturdy. It's going to have really beautiful edges on it because both the edges will be folded rather than cut, and it gives you a really good sturdy box. So I was really happy when I figured out this design for the box. I was inspired by the gift box punch board, which uses a similar technique for your gift box. Now the liner that you're going to cut is 4 3/4 inches by 6 5/8 of an inch. And so to form the matchbox, you're just going to pinch in those edges and then fold over and down with your fingers. So you're going to fold that over, tuck the edges in, and then make a crease just with your fingertips. And the same on the edges, fold over and make a crease with your fingers. You can see how that line is going to fit nice and snug and tight inside the base. And this is what holds it all in place, just like a matchbox. So I'm going to take that out and adhere it with some fast fuse adhesive, or you could use Tombow multi-glue if you like as well. And this makes your box really sturdy and holds everything together beautifully. You can see I'm not using any adhesive on the base itself, just putting adhesive on the liner. And this gives the corners a little bit of give, but don't they look smart? Look how neat they are. Beautifully folded in on themselves. So there's your base. Now the lid is slightly different. You're going to need a slightly larger box for your lid. So you're going to cut this piece of cardstock 10 5/8 of an inch square. So it's slightly bigger than your base. And your punch and score lines are a little bit different too. You've got 5 1/8 of an inch punch and score. Then using your ruler and sliding along, you're going to measure to the 6 7/8 of an inch mark. Line it up on your grid paper too, on the edge of your grid paper, so you can see where to line your cardstock up to. Punch and score down there. Now rotate 90 degrees. You should be able to line it up with the score lines here without even having to measure. And then slide it across, just lining up with those score lines. Now rotate 90 degrees again. You're going to line it up with the score lines, which also coincide with the 5 1/8 of an inch mark. And then you can see that you can line it up this way using your ruler. Or what you could do is bring in your ruler and line it up like this, so that it joins up with that score line. Punch and score down. Then line up your score lines again, punch and score. It goes together pretty quickly. Once you get the hang of how to do the scoring, you'll see that's lining up at the edge there perfectly. And now it's just a matter of any of those lines that didn't quite join up because they hung over the edge of the envelope punch board, because this is a very large size box we're making. Just line them up with, finish lining them up, join them up with the little scoring tool that's with your envelope punch board. Just joining them up, and that makes the folding that much easier when you get to scoring your box. Now that's all done, and the liner this time is 4 7/8 of an inch by 6 3/4 of an inch. So this is the liner for the lid this time. So score along all those fold lines with the rounded edge of the scoring tool that comes with the envelope punch board. And you're going to love making these boxes for your cards. Once you've made one of them, you'll realise just how professional the finish looks on them. They just look beautiful. And I love making a box that is going to last, so that if you give this as a gift, people will be diving into the box all through the year to find the cards that they want for special occasions. So they'll be opening and closing it, and you want a box that will go the distance. And this one is going to be the best ever box you could find to make for your cards. I just love it. Now you can see I like to test that the line is going to be the right side first before I commit to adhering it. And then I'm using fast fuse again. You could use Tombow multi as you would with the base. Same technique here. And you'll see when you pop that in that the whole box just falls into shape beautifully. You can see I'm just shaping it a little bit so that it doesn't gape. And this is how it fits. It fits beautifully over the base because you've added that extra 1/8 of an inch in terms of the lid being slightly bigger than the base. Now to decorate it, I've brought in some paper from the Trim the Tree Designer Series paper stack. Both of the boxes that I've done today are decorated in Christmas papers, but you could decorate these any way you like. The other box that I made, I've decorated with this design here. And the box I'm going to make for you now, I'm going to use this red design paper. Now I'm just going to snail that on, just making sure my snail gets right into the corners. You can see me flicking it into the corners there so that it's going to sit well on top of the box and not curl up. And the great thing about this is you don't even have to cut this paper down. It fits perfectly on this size box. So no cutting required for that paper. I'm using the Merry Everything stamp set and the sentiment that says Merry Christmas. I'm going to stamp that on some crumb cake using cherry cobbler ink. So the crumb cake cardstock matches the box and the cherry cobbler matches the paper. So it goes together nicely. Now I'm just going to bring in the punch, and before I punch it out I'm going to just cut off the edge with some scissors so it will fit through. And this is the note tag punch, and you can buy the Merry Everything stamp set and the note tag punch as a bundle and save 15%, so that's a really good deal, and you'll find that in the new catalogue, which you can have a look at my online store, aussiestampers.stampinup.net. If you'd like to have a look at the catalogue, it's there to look at. Now I'm going to use a small punch to punch out a small hole punch. And this ribbon is the Cherry Cobbler Sheer Linen 1-inch ribbon, which is beautiful. This is in the new catalogue as well. Absolutely gorgeous to work with, and it is quite sheer, so it's a lovely ribbon. And I'm just going to tie that in a bow around the outside, which is going to act like a belly band that slides on and off. And it's very easy to shape this bow. I'm just going to pull the tails in a little bit. And I want to show you how to make a nice tag on the edge of your ribbon here. So you're going to fold it in half and you're going to cut on the diagonal, and this makes a fishtail end on your ribbon. See how pretty that is? So you just fold your ribbon in half and then you cut up on the diagonal. I think I've made that one a little bit long, so I might come back in and redo that. I think I'll cut that a little bit shorter. Cut up on the diagonal, and there's your nice fishtail for the end of the ribbon. It's really pretty. Now to adhere this to the ribbon, I'm going to bring in some Cherry Cobbler Baker's Twine. And I'm going to bring in some beautiful little silver embellishments. Now these are called All Is Calm Snowflake embellishments, and they are just divine. They're little metal embellishments. They have etching on one side and they're plain on the other. I'm going to use the plain side on this box, and on the first box I use the etched side just to show you how different they look. I'm going to take some Baker's Twine and I'm going to thread these two elements together. First the tag, and then I'm going to thread the snowflake embellishment, which has a little hole in the top where you can thread your twine. And now I'm going to tie that around that ribbon. I'm just going to tie that into a bow and pull it down so it's fairly loose so you can actually see that little snowflake. It's really pretty, isn't it? Love these. I'm going to buy lots of these. I ran out of embellishments last Christmas. We had almost very similar snowflakes. They had a bit more bling on them, but I just love these little embellishments. So I thought, well, I'm going to buy lots of them so that I don't run out, because I want to use them on a lot of my projects. So now I'm going to add one of the large rhinestones from the Basic Jewels Rhinestones into the centre, and it fits perfectly in the centre of the snowflake. And on the other box I used a pearl in the centre of the snowflake just to give it a slightly different look. So there's your boxes put together. Now stay tuned for my further videos. As I said, I'm going to have 3 more box sizes for the other 3 envelopes that Stampin' Up! Sell. I'll be having a medium, a note card and a 3x3 size box. and I'll give you the measurements and go through the whole process again with you for those boxes. So I hope you remember to come back for those videos. Make sure you've subscribed to my channel so that you won't miss them. And if you'd like to purchase any of these products, they're all available from my online store. If you have any questions, please let me know. Bye for now.